the Zadokite documents, the laws, page 20. The unique teacher are the teacher of the community until a Messiah shall arise from Aaron and from Israel. And the same is the case with every member of the congregation of the men of perfect holiness, are holy sinlessness, who is loth to carry out the commands of upright men. He is the man that is melted in the midst of a furnace. When his deeds became apparent, he shall be sent away from the congregation, like one whose lot has not fallen in the midst of those taught of God. According to his sin shall men of knowledge reprove him, until the day when he shall again stand in the conclave of the men of perfect holiness, or holy sinlessness, according to the investigation of the law in which the men of perfect holiness, or holy sinlessness, walk. Until then, let no man agree with him, or have any enjoyment of him in property and work. For all the holy ones of the highmost have cursed him, and, like this is the case of everyone who despises the law, amongst the former ones and the latter ones, insomuch as they have set idols upon their hearts, and have walked in the stubbornness of their heart. They have no share in the house of the law. In the same manner as their fathers who returned with the men of scoffing, they shall be judged. For they spoke error against the righteous ordinances, and despised the covenant and compact which they established or swore in the land of Damascus, which is the new covenant. And they and their families shall have no share in the house of the law. And from the day that the unique teacher, or the teacher of the community, was gathered in, until the being consumed of all the men of war who returned with the man of falsehood, it is about 40 years. And in that epoch the wrath of God will be kindled against Israel. As he has said, there will be no king and no ruler, and no judge, and none to reprove in righteousness, but they that turn from impiety of Jacob, the keepers of the covenant of God, will then speak each man to his fellow, to make each man his brother righteous, that their step may take hold of the way of God, and God shall hearken to their words, and he will hear, and a book of remembrance shall be written before him for them that fear God, and that think upon his name, until salvation and righteousness shall be revealed for them that fear God. And then ye shall again discern between the righteous one and the wicked one, between him that serveth God and him that hath not served him. And he will show mercy unto thousands, to them that love him, and them that wait for him unto 1,000 generations. The house of Peleg, who went out from the holy city, and put their trust in God, in the epoch when Israel sinned, and made the sanctuary unclean, but they returned unto God, and let him appease the people. In a few words, they all, each man according to his spirit, shall be judged in the holy council. But as for all of those Joseph. The members of the covenant who have broken out of the boundary of the law, or have broken through the limit of the law, when the glory of God will appear unto Israel, they shall be cut off from the midst of the camp, and with them all the evildoers of Judah, or that did evil to or condemned Judah, in the days of its purgings, but all they that hold fast to these rules, inasmuch as they go out and go in according to the law, and listen to the voice of the teacher of righteousness, and confess before God, saying, Indeed we have acted wickedly, both we and our fathers, by walking contrariwise against the ordinances of the covenant. Righteousness and truth are thy judgments upon us, who do not act high-handedly against his holy ordinances, and his righteous judgments, and his true testimonies, who learn from the former judgments by which the men of the community, are the men of the unique one, have been judged, and who give ear to the voice of the teacher of righteousness, and do not reject the righteous ordinances. When they hear them, they shall rejoice and be glad, and their heart shall be strong, and they shall overcome all inhabitants of the universe, and God shall make conciliation for them, and they shall witness his salvation, for they have taken refuge in his holy name. And now to read the Aramaic, right? But lest I forget, see, it's God's, not ours, what we come up with, not our heaven, not our laws. And, things sort of being taken away, and then some criterion coming that can be used for 1,000 generations. I think that's already been done somewhere else, right? Mura Hichid Ad Amud Mashyech Mahran Wum Yishral Wukan Hum Shipath Lakal Bay Adat Anshi Tamim Hekdash Wikuts Mashut Pakodi Yashrim. And see, we have again and again this idea that it's not as the Christians say, that there's one Messiah or anything about, or some antinomial Messiah or something like this. But in the meantime, there's always going to be somebody around, right? That will be righteous. Hetchites. Oh, well, in the previous here, you have Hetchites, Wub Shu now, Wub Shunay, Washuna, Wum Tab al Abut, Habut al Hamas, Hamwas, Churb, Wuchra, Hetchutes. And in this document here, we have Ba Bay, Heachud, Heachid. I'll get into more of that later here. Uwa Haish, Huntuk, Batuk, Kur, Bahupa, Mashu, Yishlich, Mada, Kami, Shalah, Napol, Nurulu, Batuk, Lamudi, Al Kapi, Malu, Yuch, yeah, Yukichuhu, Anshi, Daut, Ad, Yum, Yeshub, Lamud, B'Amud, Anshi, Tamid, Qadush, Asher Ain, Gorlu, Batuk Wab Hupa, Mashu, Kapi, Manrush, Hetura Asher, Yet Holku, Bu Anshi, Tamim, Hakdash, Al Yah, is it Yut? Or Yut? Yaut Aish Amu, Bahun, Wab Abuda, Ki, Aruhu, Kol, Qadushi, Aliyun, Wak Mushpath, Hazah, Likal, Hamas, Barashunim, Wab Achrunim, Asher, Shamu, Nalulim, Al Labam, Wishim, Wilku, Bushrirut, Labam Aim, Laham, Chulk, Babit, Hetura. Torah is such a wide word, right? You know, is it the 5 books of Moses? Originally, I think the first groups were the Hexateuch, so Joshua was part of it. And then they later decided, well, we're going to have the 5 books of Moses as the first section. Kam Shippath, Rayaham, Asher, Shabu, Anshi, Heltsun, Yishpathu, Ki, Debru, Tu, Al, Chucky, Hetzduck, Wam Asu, Babrit, Wamnah, Asher, Kemu, Bartz, Demshuk, Wahwa, Barit, Hetchdusha, Wala, Yah, Laham, Wal Mush, Pachutiham, Chulk, Bambit, Hatur, Wamyum. And the variations with verse 8, we have Hamas, Bachkim, Hamas, Mashu, Asher. There's variations with 5 and 6. And so is Hamas the despisers, because for all who despise, but we have okay. Among the initial ones, all who despise blank. So there's a lot of implied phrases in Semitic languages, right? And people, I was seeing this podcast yesterday, and this guy was like talking about secret societies and like thinking that groups that were well proven to exist, half a millennia before, like they were just founded like in some secret society or the Vatican or some silly stuff like this, that they don't know anything about some mainstream religions. So they're making stuff up. They're not talking about anything from the language or their own sources or whatever. They're just, and no, things tend to be clearer in some of these languages than they are in English, particularly when you get into the Quran. Hasif, Yurah, Hichid, Adtum, Kol Anshi, Hum Lichma, Asher, Shabu, Am Aish, Hexab, Keshnim, Arbayim, Yim Guts. Guts is a boundary. Hehwa, Yitzra, Afal, Bishral, Kasher, Amr Ain, Muluk, Wayne Shur, Wayne Shupath, Wayne Mukyach, Butstuck, La Wushbi, Pasha, Yaqam, Shamru, Barit al-Az, Yadbur Aish, al-Rahu, La Tadiq, Aish, at Achid, Latmuk, Satam, Badruk, al-Wiqashib, al Debriham, Wishma, Wiqtab, Sapper, Zakrun, Lepnew, Liray, al Walchu Shabi, Shamu, Ad, Yagla, Ta, Yasha, Wutstaka, that root. Tzaddak is righteousness. It's also Jupiter. Yurei, al Wushpatum, Waratum, Bin Tzaddak, Warsha, Bin Abd, al Lasher, La Abdu, Washa, Chesed, the Chesedim, as they're now called, are a group of Jews that you can expect to oppose the blood and soil movement, the atrocities of the blue stripers. Laupim, Lahbiu, Wal Shimriu, Lalf, Dur, Bait, Pulg, Asher, Gitzau, Mayur, Hekdash. And remember, this is a case of how we know that things are beyond the land and even the ancestry as far as the thing. Wishanu al Bakats Mal Yishral with Mau at Hamqadash Washbu Ad al Wishuk Ham Badburim Mathyam Kulam Aish Lapi Ruchu Yishpathu Batzat, and the variations: Hichad, Hichid, and Shemri, Shemru. I feel like saying something from Mary Poppins for some reason. Hakdash Wakul Asher Pertsu at Kabul Hatura Mabay Habrit Bahupa Kabud al Lishral Yakratu Makrab Hamchana Wa Maham Kul Mershii Yahuda. And, at some point they changed that, because you had the Israelites rise to power twice, which the first time peaked under Shlomo and Dawood, are Suleiman and David. And then after Cyrus the Messiah, and then following that you had the emergence of Judaism when they built, that second temple period, because Solomon, and then the post-exile temple. And then the Jews rose to power twice, because, this group. And the Jews, you had, the Maccabees. And then with the Maccabees, you had the first historical mention of Judaism. But you can really say that Judaism appeared when the exposure to the Mobeds and all that, with the construction of the second temple, that started to appear. And, the Bar Kokhba revolt. And the Bar Kokhba revolt led to the destruction of the third temple. And as a third thing, now you have the Zionists. So you had the Khazar kingdom is when that sort of started. They started with this blood and soil beyond religion and even, Semitic ancestry sort of thing. And then the modern state of Israel is the second period of that. So they changed from being Yahwadi to, being about that tribe. But Bimi Matsraputyu Wukkel hem Chazikim Bum Shipthim Halah Latsat Wal Bwa Al Pi Hatura Wishmau Lakol Mura Witudu Elapni Al Ki Anu Rush Anu Gum Anchanu Gum Abutinu Bulkatnu Qari Bachki Habrit Zadak Wamt Mashpathik Banu Wallah Yurimu Yad Al Chaqi Qadshu Wam Shipthi Tatqo Waduwat Amtu Watisru Bum Shipthim Her Ashunim Asher Nashpathu Bum Anshi Hichid Wa Azinu Lakul Mura Sadak Wallah Yashibu At Chakti Hetstuck Bum Mam Amt Atom Yeshu Wish Muchu We Oz Lakab Wheat Gabru Al Kul Bani Tabo Wakpur Al Badam Warau Bishu Atu Ki Chasu Basham Qatshu, and we have the variations Mura Hetstuck Mura and Hetstuck Tadak Hichud Hichid. And yeah, again, this distinction between the teacher of righteousness, the people that need to go out and come in. Of course, there's a teacher of wickedness too.